Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is part 4 of 9 of the full review of Windows 10 Creators Update. In this part, we're going to dedicate to Windows Update. Yep, Windows Update. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the Windows Update. Things that unfortunately will not be there for some. But anyways, kind of a full little thing to do with Windows Update. Okay, so first of all, what's new with Windows Update? Now you might say, really dedicating a part to Windows Update? Come on, there can't be that many change. Well, there are a lot of changes in Windows Update. So first of all, Windows Update was and always has been kind of broken in Windows. For as long as you can go, I remember in Windows 7 checking out updates, and it took an enormous amount of time before it even reported something. And sometimes you just abandon. And obviously it wasn't fixed because in Windows 10, even with the anniversary update, Windows, the check for updates can sometimes just go on and on and on and on. Well, I did notice that with the insider builds, the updates, when you were checking for updates, it actually happened faster. Well, it is faster. In Creators Update, the Windows Update status, when you click that button here to check for updates, that sometimes, would just go on and on for hours. I've seen this go for hours without no response. Look at how fast it told me now there's no updates available. Well, this is one of the features of Creators Update. It is much improved. It is faster to tell you there are updates or not. It is faster to, of course, do all of that stuff. But also, one of the greatest things, because let's face it, it's scary to download these huge updates like Creators Update. And, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that look at that progression that's slow and they're like, oh God, I hope everything is all right when it restarts. And it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have a computer that we're wondering if we're going to go through or not to the end of the install process. And at Creators Update, when you get this, there's a new design of Windows Update. So it's faster to tell you when there's updates, but there's something new behind the scenes. The engine is now using what's called the Unified Update Platform. That's something that they have been in the works for a long time. Microsoft knows that these huge updates are a plague and they are a major issue, and that part of the reasons why people are unhappy is because of that, and that it doesn't always work well. And it creates these huge downloads. The Universal Update Platform now will download only the parts needed to update your system. So that means that if you get a update in November, you might not get a full big update. You might get only a gigabyte or two of data, because it's just going to replace the files that it needs and the settings that it needs. But it's not going to touch what is already there that is just fine and doesn't have any problems. So that is a huge improvement, and let's hope that it works well. I think it's going to be very, very, very nice if it really works well. For insiders, for example, it might mean Windows updates as small as 1 gigabyte. For regular users, updates up to 35% smaller than what we used to have before. So this is pretty cool. When you think about it, we're getting into something that might be a little better, and hopefully will help have less problems, because that was another issue, problems because of these huge updates. And let's hope that this helps in these problems for sure. So as we said, faster check for updates, and you've seen the update here. And improve active hours. Active hours is those period of time that you can tell Windows not to install updates so that it doesn't annoy you with an update right smack in the middle of what you're doing. They've increased to 18 hours that feature. So that's not bad. That only makes this much better. Now, 18 hours. One of the things that I don't like, because it's not everywhere, is the option to delay. For a long time, and actually even if you ask pretty much everybody at Microsoft, when you wanted to install updates, they were telling us, oh yeah, you're gonna choose how updates are delivered, and you'll be able to say a period of time. You'll be able to just in advanced options to say, well, I want to have updates only delay them for 30 days or something. So here there's pause updates, and you can just turn this on, and then you had a feature updated. This one is in Pro version. In the Pro version, you can actually push these updates for 30 days. Unfortunately, it's not in the Home version. And I gotta say, this is a little sad. It's just 30 days. They are going to install. I find it a little sad that they did not put it in the Home version. So in the Home version, unfortunately, you cannot delay those Windows updates, unfortunately. I'm going to talk to you about a little trick, which is metered connection, but also tell you about that little trick that actually tells us that metered connection has changed also in here. Okay, what else do we have? So let's just go back here. Let's unpause the updates for this device and put it back to normal. So okay, what else do we have in the Windows update? For sure is that there should be less of surprises because of the way updates are delivered. Unfortunately, like I said, no on-off switches. That's really sad. There's one thing that's better. A lot of gamers were annoyed at this, and a lot of people are annoyed at this. You are taken out of a game because of updates that want to install. Well, now it's a little more of, okay, we'll display a panel telling that updates wants to be installed, but you can just say no, and you can just continue on, and it's not going to force the updates, and you're not going to have zero control over it. Still, it's not a let's not install updates and wait for it. It's you still need to install updates at some point. I think that's something that needs to be probably changed a little bit. So what's the last option that I would say here is metered connection. When you were using metered connection in a device, you could actually delay every update. So in the Wi-Fi settings, if you weren't on, if you were on Wi-Fi, you had the possibility to choose metered connection. And the metered connection, so I'm trying to remember where it was. Well, this is network. There was a property. I always forget where metered connection is. It's incredible. So anyways, and the metered connection, oh, here we go. Set as a metered connection. You could delay metered connections, could delay all the updates. And that was really cool because it was a little trick that you can use to stop the updates from getting here. They've modified this a little bit. And, I don't think it's a bad idea. They've modified it so that metered connection now will prevent driver updates or big updates like, the next update in October or November, Redstone 3. from downloading and installing, but all the updates that are security updates, these will still install. So it's not a bad idea, personally, I think, except for one little thing. Because updates in Windows 10 are now cumulative updates, there's all sorts of things in that big chunk. And they can't really differentiate between one security update and a really important update or a driver update, because it can be all mishmash. Now, usually drivers are apart, but it doesn't matter. There are things sometimes that might have actually pushed through because of this, but at least you'll still have a little bit of control with this, but less than before. And I have to say, I understand Microsoft for pushing updates, security updates especially, because it is important, because it's not just your security, it's the general security of everybody. So that's why I'm a little, I'm not totally negative on this point. And even though some of you are probably like, no, we should have full control of, but it's kind of interesting. So that's pretty much what's changed and what's new in the Windows updates. So I told you it has enough stuff that we of course needed to talk about it. And of course there's all sorts of little changes here and there in settings for paid plans, suggested plans, the switch for open Wi-Fi, stuff like that, open Wi-Fi hotspots and so on. There are a few things there that are changed in the settings, and of course in our Windows Creators Update highlights, we'll focus more on specific settings everywhere in Windows. So hope you enjoy our videos. So this was part 4 of 9 of the Creators Update full review. Hope you enjoy our videos. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let us know. And thank you so much for following us on this channel.